Welcome to the Sausage Tray, our podcast that we've brought back for you, especially for the viewers, because that's what y'all wanted. 4 white guys discussing random things while drinking alcohol. This podcast is brought to you by me, Josh, and my co-host, Justin. We have Eric and Cameron with us today, and so I guess if you want to get started with our rundown.
Yeah, all right.
It's up to you.
We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, but real quick, usual housekeeping bullshit before you jump into, fun topics and things like that. Of course, you're probably watching this either on our Facebook or our YouTube page, youtube.com/roommatesgaming. You can check us out there or over on Twitch at twitch.tv/roommatesgaming. And of course, jump into our Discord and be part of the conversation, hang out and talk to us and our friends and our other lovely fans. It's always fun. We have new videos, gameplays that go up every Monday on youtube.com/roommatesgaming. And this podcast is bi-weekly. It goes up on Thursday and it rotates with Hard at Play, our video game centric podcast that we do on alternating weeks. Both of those just kind of switching off Thursdays. But it's a lot of fun. We're happy to be doing this new venture and look forward to some fun stuff we have coming around. So I think Josh is ready to take us away with topic number 1.
Yeah, well, before that,
never mind.
Next week will be Death Stranding Monday video, and this week obviously is the last Spookvember video, which was our Luigi's Mansion 3 video. So if you want to watch those, obviously there'll be an end card and playlist you can watch. But jumping into our first topic today is consumer entitlement. Eric first.
Hitting the hard balls right off the bat.
Well, Eric, you brought it to our attention.
All I wanted to do was mention that something got me thinking from the Hard to Play we did, and I just wanted to politely mention, hey, I'm thinking about this thing we were talking about.
How did you start thinking?
Yeah, then it turned into a freaking debate.
Well, you said that you had a new way of thinking about entitlement and consumerism.
That sounds way more ambitious than anything I've ever done.
Okay, so to
Our
Eric's
group tank is
defense,
the battlefield.
to Eric's defense, I had seen something recently circulated on Facebook saying games are gifts to us and we don't deserve to hate them because they are gifts and they are pieces of art, and if we don't like it, we can move on. But the big question is, or rather the big statement is, they're not gifts. We pay for them.
I'm right dead in the middle of that.
Yeah, that's I was
too.
Me and Eric were having that discussion like at the apartment, and I was like, they're products. We pay for them, and just like any other product that you buy, you should be guaranteed a certain amount of satisfaction from it because it is a product being, shipped to you to buy. Granted, you don't have to buy it, but if you buy a car, you expect it to meet those conditions, and then you can be like, hey, this car's got fucked up shit. I want my money back, which you are entitled to because you bought it, and most people have warranties or stuff like that. But like, granted, there's like a balance between like some of the nitpicking that happened. This all got started because of Pokemon Sword and Shield. This whole thing got caused by that. There's like a line between nitpicking and actually kind of having concerns. Some people, the loud people, took it way too far extreme. Like, because I'm in the camp that I wish the National Dex was there, and I'm not like hashtag National Dex, Dexit, or hashtag Game Freak lied.
Right.
Yeah.
They necessarily didn't lie, and like I said in the gaming podcast, I don't want to say that they lied or that they're lazy. They just are used to making small things, and I get that, but hopefully I expect more from them as they're using this bigger platform. I hope they would feel like now that they have a bigger platform to use, they would want to make it bigger because like even with their smaller games, like their older games, they would try to make them fairly advanced for the time. So
The counselor's out of time.
Since we're immediately jumping into this came from Pokemon, I would like to point out that
Towns over there, idiot.
but after like we started talking about this before the podcast, I actually saw an article from an interview with whatever his name is. I'm not good with names, but
Jenny Machida,
whatever his name is. But he was talking about like the backlash from their decision with the National Dex. And he's I'm gonna paraphrase terribly probably, but essentially what he said was we'd been thinking about this choice for a long time, and we eventually just came to the decision that no matter what, this is what we want to do, so we're gonna do it.
Right.
Fair enough.
And now they're just sticking to their guns.
Before we get too far away, I know we were talking about the kind of whole games are gifts, yada yada, and you used a metaphor about a car, and if it's broken, you deserve to get your money back.
I was waiting to come back to this too.
Yeah. So games are more like movies. They are art, and art is subjective. If I go watch a movie and I don't like it, I don't deserve to get my money back.
You do. You deserve to get your money back.
These are opinions. I can't say the movie is broken and doesn't perform its function.
See, this is why I'm smack dab in the middle. I agree with what Josh is saying. I should get my money back if I don't like something that I paid for.
So GameStop's 48-hour period.
Sure.
Yeah, but how many people are going to walk out of Inception and say, I don't get it. Let me get my money back. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're stupid.
That's true. I'm sorry they're stupid, but if they want their money back, they want their money back.
The movie played, you were entertained, or at least should have been.
On the metaphor of a movie, if they leave early, they get their money back. If they sit through the whole damn movie, too fucking bad.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
I think it should be like a time, like how much, like if the movie's 2 hours and you sit through an hour, that's
I would say halfway.
you've seen enough of that movie.
That goes back to the GameStop 24-hour thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat a game in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm playing devil's advocate here from the theater's perspective. They've sold that seat. Somebody else could have been sitting there,
Yeah,
true.
and it's gone. But see, this is where I think that it's not a two-sided argument or even three-sided. I mean, there's a spectrum of things that you got to consider when you're looking at specifically games, right?
Yeah.
And thinking about my mind didn't go exactly like directly to Pokemon because I haven't been part of the Pokemon world for so long. But dude, excuse me, BlizzCon last year when they straight up got on stage and announced, "Hey, we're making a Diablo mobile game."
And they're
Nobody
like,
has phones. So.
everybody's got phones.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, so to Cameron's point, this is a piece of art that they are making that has not been purchased by those fans. And the fan outrage there, I never understood. And that is something that I said, that's just whiny bullshit. Because you have not bought that game. You bought Diablo 3 and you probably bought Diablo 1 and 2, but they put so much into it. They put so much into Diablo 3 over the years. And people, what did people want? Diablo 4, right?
Yeah.
And they come out and announce this mobile game like, Blizzard isn't giving us what we want. We give them all this money.
Yeah.
They owe it to us. No, they don't. You paid for Diablo 3.
Yeah.
You got Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Now, on that same argument, Destiny, we knew what we wanted. We knew what we were told we were going to get. No Man's Sky at the beginning. We knew what we wanted.
Yeah.
We knew what we were told we were going to get. And that's not what was delivered. That's not the experience.
No
that
Man's
we
Sky
got.
is a great example because
Exactly.
he literally just said yes to whatever people asked.
And I think that's because he was. I think he got to a point where he was over his head. Sean Murray just was in so many conversations and brought on to so many different periodicals and so many different websites, and he was like, "Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
'Cause
sure.
He
And
just
you know
didn't
what?
know.
He might have believed it. He
Yeah.
might have wanted delivered that
Yeah.
and didn't realize his limitations.
And look at it now. You know what I mean? Like they kept pounding away on it, and No Man's Sky is a completely different
Well,
beast
like
now than it
Destiny.
was at launch. Destiny's better.
Destiny 1 versus
Des-
Taken King.
Destiny
it's
has
not-
this weird development cycle that I don't like, where it comes out and it's not what I want, and then like 2 years down the road,
That's
you can
a
buy the
whole
ultimate
nother
edition.
beast.
Yeah.
Unfinished games.
They want you to pay
releasing broken games.
Yeah, they
and
want you to
patching
pay
them.
$140 because the $60 investment that you did make
Mhm.
for what you wanted and what they said, hey, this is what this game's going to be. You buy it, you start playing, and they're like, no, this is what it's going to be. Down
Right.
the road.
But I mean,
That I don't agree with that.
look at the consumer market. Try explaining pre-order games to us back in the 90s.
Yeah,
It's not out yet, but you're going to go ahead and pay us for it. Oh, okay.
Well,
What?
GameStop's always had a model like that though. GameStop, you could walk in there, put money down on a game that's not out yet, and pick it up when it comes out.
But is that layaway in a sense rather than pre-order? Because now you get special bonoses for pre-ordering.
it's layaway for something that's not available yet. I mean,
Yeah.
that's essentially what
And you're gonna
pre-order.
talk
Yeah, you're
more
essentially
about-
laying away for
Laying away for a
How'd
new
you lay it
product.
Away, yeah.
you're essentially laying away a product you don't even have yet.
Right. And that kind of leads into the whole consumer hype. Look at Death Stranding. All I heard was, I want this game because I don't know what it's about. Excuse me? You want to buy a mystery box? Yes, it does have the history of Kojima.
I had the baby pre-ordered. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had no clue what the game was about.
Nope.
You didn't know it was going to be UPS Simulator, but
Nope.
you knew it was Kojima and you knew it was weird as shit and you wanted it.
Yep.
I mean,
How do you want something without knowing what something
well,
is?
to a certain point, once
Because it's
more,
art.
once more things came out, if people didn't realize that you'd be walking around for most of the game,
Yeah.
that's kind of on them.
Yeah.
Because most of the things that they like showed from like gameplay was him walking.
Yeah.
And
Carrying
if you didn't
packages.
put if you didn't put 2 and 2 together and see most of the actual in-game footage and not like cinematic pre-renders or whatever,
Yes.
he's walking around.
Yeah. And
He's
this
putting
is-
up ladders
Yep.
and rope, and you're
Right.
like, obviously, that's what I'll be doing is walking around this big ass world, delivering stuff.
Yeah.
Just walk. I don't know what I'll
But
be
the
doing.
fan was pretending that they were only showing the little parts, hoping
No.
that the big stuff would be saved.
The same-
No game developer has ever done that.
No.
True. No
The same
movie trailer's
people
ever
who-
done that.
The same people who wanted that 9-hour Kojima cinematic experience plus gameplay are the same people who are used to being Solid Snake, and
Yeah.
that's the big thing. Like,
Yeah.
Well, let's
But-
use Justin as our own firsthand experience
Yep,
because
this guy.
you
I fucked up.
pre-ordered it.
yep,
And had you not seen any game footage, you would have received it and to an extent been unhappy. Now, you got to watch gameplay footage and you canceled your pre-order. So tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know if I would have been unhappy. Like, realistically, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Like, had I not seen certain things and I just jumped in and been like,
Right. Because you bought the game
why-
anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, I
You canceled your
played Breath of the
pre-order.
Wild 2 years ago. Why am I walking around the wilderness right now? And why do I have so much shit on my person? Like, why is it deteriorate? Yeah, I mean, I would have been confused, but I don't think that would take away from how much that game means to me. And I did. I had the collector's edition pre-ordered. I ended up canceling it and just getting the standard pre-order. But man, like, even to this day, like, not a day goes by. Man, I really wish I would have got that because this is something really special to me that I wish I could have held on to. And as soon as I can find a smaller BB somewhere, either as a Funko Pop or whatever the fuck, I'm buying one because the relationship that I've built with that and the relationship that I don't really have a relationship with Sam. You could have traded out Norman Reedus for any fucking body in the world, to be completely honest.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something about that game and the way those engines work and how I want to make an investment into it.
Yeah.
Even though it is a goddamn slog. It is. It's not.
Sure.
There's nothing like vapidly exciting about playing that game right
But
now. But
they
it's
introduced
so good.
a unique mechanic, and that's what sets games apart. It could have been bad,
Yeah.
but it's something you latched onto.
There's
Look
a
at
walking
Shadow-
engine.
Yeah, like for me, I spent most of the game building roads and bridges and just like not even in progressing the story. I've been like trying to get 5 stars on the.
You're trying to win Libertarian of the Year.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm like trying to get 5 stars on like all of the people that I can give packages to because they give me stuff, and I'm like,
Right.
well, I want that new upgrade.
Yeah.
Like when I first started playing, I was kind of not hesitant, but I was like, am I gonna like this? But I love that game.
Yeah.
Like I could play hours and go, all I've done is just run back and forth resources to build more roads. What am I doing?
You're grinding.
But I'm not, but I'm not like, oh, this is boring. I'm like, I'm having a blast.
He's not grinding for personal benefit.
Yeah,
though.
I'm grinding for the betterment of the community.
Yeah.
He's literally said that he wants to hurry up and finish Pokemon so he can get back to Death Stranding.
Like,
I'm still playing Monster Hunter.
it's
You guys put down Borderlands to put down Pokemon to play Death
I
Stranding.
have not
I'm
put
still
down.
on Monster
I have
Hunter.
not put down Pokemon.
I never got Borderlands.
Well,
Quick
we beat
question. We don't have to
Borderlands.
jump straight into it now, but is expecting a national Pokédex on the new Pokemon game, like expecting
Foolish.
every map in Call
Foolish.
of Duty to come out with every new release? of Call
They've
of
already
Duty?
said that they have no intention of putting the national decks back in a Pokemon game.
I mean, it's getting.
But no, it's not
because
foolish.
they're jumping to a new system, they don't have to reanimate it.
It's not foolish because all of the other games before it have
Right.
been like that.
It's kind of
So it's expected. So when I understand like
But
all
at the
the
same time, we're coming to a tipping point where when they continue to add new Pokemon, it becomes more and more difficult to bring everything into the game.
I know that.
So,
But it's not foolish to go, this has happened for the rest.
Why don't I get
Well,
it?
I'm not-
7 gens before this,
I'm not
it's
saying
been
it's-
like this.
I'm not
So
saying it's
for
foolish.
8, I assume that it's going to be like this.
I'm not saying it's foolish to want it. I'm saying it's foolish to expect it after they've
they've
said they're not doing it.
No, to expect it afterwards, no. But if the first, like here's the trailer for Sword and Shield, cool. All of the Pokemon from the rest of the games are coming. But when they say we're not bringing it, that's when you can be like, well, that sucks. But don't be like, bring it back or else.
Yeah.
Just don't buy the game.
But still, for something that's been building for 20 years, I'm sorry, Eric.
Oh, you're fine.
The information delivery could have been better. And
That's something I want to.
I'm not the demographic that's been in on every game. Like I said, I have not played since Game Boy Advance, and I picked up Let's Go Pikachu. Me and my wife had fun with it, and I got Shield launch night. Started playing it. I'm having an absolute blast. My wife started playing, and yesterday she jumped on, I guess, like 9:30 at night, and 3:45 this morning I had to walk downstairs to be like, Courtney, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I've been looking for a Vulpix forever, and it's just it's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't knock it. I'm having fun the entire time I'm
But
playing
it's the information delivery for something that's built up for this long.
I actually wanted to jump back to what you said about Death Stranding, where if people weren't aware what Death Stranding was going to be after E3, after all of the trailers and whatnot, that's on them.
Yep.
There were a lot of people where I jumped in the conversation on Pokemon just because I wanted to play devil's advocate because it's been getting a lot of hate.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly just wanted to defend what I thought was going to be a very fun game, regardless of its flaws.
I was one of those people that, sorry again, I was one of those people that I was hesitant on Death Stranding because I went in blackout over it. We talked about that. It's in our group chat. Like, I'm like, I don't want to see any more of this game. I don't want to know anything else about it because I'm enthralled in this mystery. But going back to Cameron's point earlier, because we're jumping around all over the place now, it's because I admire this artist. His work is art.
Yes.
And that's what it is. It's not, I mean, he could have made My Name is Mayo and I'd have paid $50 for it. Like, I don't care.
He could have made his own version of Tetris.
Yes. Like,
Fair enough.
would have been fine.
I'd love to see Kojima Tetris.
I would just like to see a Kojima movie.
It's all bodies.
Like,
Yeah.
because he's like that. Like the
That's
reason
what we got. We got an interactive movie.
a lot of his like inspirations and like things that he pulls from are movies. And like when he was younger, that's what he aspired to be. Was
You can tell he's a cinephile.
well, like I learned some information about him recently. When he was younger, like his like family was also really into movies. They would give him money, tell him to go to the theater, watch a movie, and then come back and give them the synopsis of the movie.
That's cool as shit.
So he has a very like in-depth love for cinema, and you can see it. And that's like his original goal was not to be game designer. He just did that because he's like, well, I can do this. But he wanted to be a movie star. Or not, he wanted to direct films, and he did that in high school and stuff. But it didn't work out for him.
His game design strategy makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, it's based around being a movie.
Interactive story.
If you don't follow him on Twitter or Instagram, you really should, because he's always posting just abstract movies from either forever ago or new things,
foreign films, and
or like independent films. Like he'll go down to like a student theater and just watch the things they put together, and he boasts it, man. Like he goes in, he talks to everybody. He's like, I really enjoyed what you do.
That's really cool. It's not my thing, but it's really cool.
It's really awesome.
Someone that loves cinema and appreciate like. I know this is going to be a weird topic to jump off to. I kind of agree with Martin Scorsese about. There's a difference between movies and cinema in my mind.
I agree with
and not saying that the Marvel movies suck.
Yeah,
they're fun and enjoyable, but they're not.
They're not
art.
It's a different kind of experience.
I agree with
the way that it's a cinema. Like some of his movies are meant to be stories that you look at.
Yeah.
Where
I agree 100% with his intention of what he said.
Yes.
Well, it's
I
like
100% disagree with his opinion that he stated.
Yes.
it's like painting versus sculpting. They're both meant to be looked at, but they're both different experiences.
Yeah. But to go back farther about you saying how we're telling.
We have to go back.
Somebody draw a timeline.
It's the Charlie timeline.
This is how conversations work with us. It's just one big info dump.
Poppy Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia.
There is no
Carol. No.
This is exactly how conversations work with us.
But how you were talking about how he already pre-ordered the game and he wanted that. I love Dark Souls. I find them extremely fun, and I knew going into Sekiro it wasn't going to be Dark Souls. Just like Bloodborne isn't technically like Dark Souls. Yep. It is dark. It is more Dark Souls than Sekiro is Dark Souls.
Cut you off here.
It's more Dark Souls than Sekiro is. Yeah, if you want to go ahead. Beer master.
Beer master.
Get 3 points so I can talk next. Right.
I think if I just gave up the last beer.
Josh.
I think a 12-pack may have been not as generous as we thought.
But when I bought it, I wanted to play it because I really enjoyed From Software games. And I was... Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
I tried.
And when I played it, I was enjoying it for a while. But then, I started to have trouble. And my thing with Dark Souls is I'm a try to get good person. So for their mechanic is they want you game mechanics wise to get perfect parries, which means waiting and parrying. But meta, spam parry. And that kind of broke it for me because I didn't want to play the game like that. And then I got to a point in the game where I'm like, I'm not getting good. I just keep dying over and over on the same enemy.
Spamming parry fixes all of your problems.
And I don't want to do that. That
takes away the fun.
That takes away the fun of having a meta mechanic because that just breaks the gameplay for me.
It's like any game you break with cheat codes and then it's no fun because you're OP.
Exactly. But that's why I wanted my entitlement. I bought the game.
There it is.
I bought the game and I didn't go, this is too hard. I want my money back. I went, this is too hard. And I know that it's not me or it's me not getting good enough. I've gotten this far into the game and this wall is too hard for me to break. I'd rather go play something that I'm having fun with. And the game was fun as shit. The amount of time that I played, I had a blast.
Yeah.
But I just got to a point where it was too hard. I'm like, I guess this is it, Sekiro. Maybe someday down the line, I'll come back and give it a good old college try again.
Yeah.
I actually did that with my first Monster Hunter title. I had no clue what it was. It just looked cool. I saw it in the store. I was about to go on a family trip down to Florida. I needed something to kill some time. I got it for the PSP and I played it. And, the intro to the game was a bit all right. I'm like, wow, this is very different than anything I've ever played in my life. And then it got hard and I got really frustrated and discouraged. And I put it away for maybe close to a year and decided to come back to it one day and really got back into it. And I got better and I went way farther with the game, hitting 200 hours in my first title. And, that's a really good example of the same thing. I wasn't upset with the game for being difficult.
It's more you're upset with yourself for not getting good because you want to continue playing.
Right. And although I took a break, it's now one of my favorite
franchises. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I wish I could do that with Bloodborne because I know what that game deserves and I know what that game demands. And it's just, I don't have the skill to give it to it.
Because one of the things is when Sekiro first came out, people were like, put patches, make it easier. And that's entitlement. No, they built this game to obviously be hard.
Yep.
Have you played any other Dark Souls game? They're not meant to just take easily. They're meant to be challenged, regardless if it's some sort of mechanic in the game that kind of handicaps you in a way to your box hit frame is way bigger than it should be, but it's trying to make you go, oh, that means I need to be 2 steps ahead of that sword swing.
I will say exaggerated hitboxes and exaggerated hurtboxes are fucking bullshit.
They are bullshit. Yeah. It is amplified difficulty, but it's better than bullet sponges.
True.
I would rather take that than a bullet sponge because then I know I'm better than this. They just got 5 times the amount of health than they should have.
Right.
I should not be dying on this enemy.
But that kind of brings up another thing. Games are different from movies because people don't experience it the same way.
Yeah.
If we all go in a theater, we're going to see the same movie. But if we play a game, we're going to play it differently.
But that's the same thing. If we go see a movie, we might not all agree
That's true.
with
we
it.
might all latch on to different things.
When we
different
watch
scenes, different characters.
But it's going to hit our eyes the same. It's not like you're only going to see
Technically true.
half the movie because you're in a different seat.
It's the same information going to everybody. How we perceive it is going to be different.
Sure. And we have opinions.
And it's not
gonna be the same
interactive.
with games.
So-
But Josh is going to go play Sekiro and he's going to hit a wall where Eric might play Sekiro and perhaps be
I'll
better.
hit the wall way sooner. I'll hit the wall. With
Yeah,
it.
I think he started playing
But
it like
Title screen.
But
aside,
that's the point I wanted to make a while back, and I'm actually glad you brought up Sekiro because it means I can take this point off of Pokemon because I didn't want this conversation to be all about Pokemon.
Let's switch
either.
to Sonic.
But the point you made
I
was
love
that
the new look.
the point you made
I'm
was
glad we did something.
was that people
That's my point. We're coming back to that.
after a game comes out and like people are like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting. Even though, like in Death Stranding, you should have, if you had been paying attention to the trailers and the gameplay footage they showed at E3 and all that kind of stuff, you should have understood what Death Stranding was probably going to be. With Dark Souls or Bloodborne or any of the Soulsborne style games, I don't play them. I consciously ignore them because I know what they're gonna be. I know what to expect from that game. I know I'm not gonna like it. I just don't play them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at some point, consumer entitlement becomes not paying attention to what you're actually going to get and just expecting something that you've interpreted from them.
That's when it comes entitlement.
And that
you have not paid for.
That you haven't paid for
yeah,
yet. Because that
but
was
that-
one of the problems with Sekiro. Everyone thought it was Dark
Yeah.
Souls. They kept saying it's not Dark Souls. And I took that knowledge and, okay, it looks
and they're
kind
not
of,
wrong. It's not
It's
Dark
not
Souls.
Dark. It looks Dark Souls, but it's not Dark
Yeah.
Souls.
So speaking of people that haven't paid for it, I wonder what percentage of these entitled people are the same people that watch playthroughs and don't even buy the game.
Probably a high number. Probably an astonishingly high number.
And unfortunately,
But
while I
back-
don't
continue your
want,
point.
while I don't want to bring this back to Pokemon, I have to because what I was going to say was there are a lot of people that saw like their direct footage and their E3 treehouse footage or whatever it was called, whatever they call that thing, where they were like showing off the wild area and all that kind of stuff. And there are people that apparently interpreted the wild area as something that it definitely isn't, which they thought it was going to be like this big open area where you just played with other people. And like when I saw it, when it first
Safari Zone.
yeah, when it first hit my eyes, I'm like, that's the Safari Zone.
That's what we
not an
always wanted it to be.
MMO.
Yeah,
Realistically.
that's the Safari and the Friend Zone together.
Yep.
And I don't understand how people didn't understand that.
I think it was partially translation mixed with.
Oh no, yeah, it's
like,
it's definitely that specifically Nintendo doesn't have a good PR department in these kinds of things.
Which is hilarious because they have a huge.
Because game developers do not, Sean Murray specifically, does not do well in interviews.
There's 12 people in Hello Games.
yeah. Like, so who do
I'm
you
just-
choose to go talk about it?
I'm just saying, game developers don't give good interviews. You shouldn't try to interpret what they're saying. You should just take it as face value. Whatever they said is what they said. Deal with it.
But they were a little clear. Like, I'll give them, like, it would have been cool if, yeah, you could join in with friends and play together. But they were kind of clear about this isn't a true co-op mode.
Yeah.
You will be able to see friends if you are playing locally together. You'll be able to play with your friends in that aspect, but it's not going to be like
Yeah.
you're going to be able to take
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
wild area together.
Yeah,
But
it comes consumer entitlement for me comes down to it's part the consumer wanting more than the developer has promised them
yes.
and expecting their promise to mean exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then that going into game companies should probably, spend some money on a better PR department so these things don't happen as often as they do.
Yeah.
True.
Sure,
and now
sure.
we have like such an easier way to communicate with all
Yeah.
of this. Like back in the day when
I
you were reading a magazine and that's how
Yeah.
you got your information. But
Social
now when you
media.
have Twitter and you can literally
Yeah.
go talk to the
Yeah.
person making the game and be like,
I really
go kill
do,
yourself.
Yeah, I really do feel like
It's
social
Phil
media.
Fish.
Social media has.
well, he's a piece of shit. So
It's hilarious to see like the actual turnover rate for communication specialists, like people who work in social media and stuff like that for game companies, is stupid high.
Yeah.
And
Also
it's
for Trump.
for that reason. It's for that
Yeah,
reason.
I really do feel like social media has created an environment where the consumer feels like they have a lot more influence than they actually
we're-
do.
we're a mass
and
bully.
it spins off so
Yeah.
much more. And I want to come back to this already. So like me and Cameron talked about a second ago, Sonic.
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog, right? So this is a movie that's not out, but it's something that a lot of people have passion for because we grew up playing those games. And I believe the response to the original Sonic the Hedgehog film images were both an example of good response to consumer entitlement, unpaid consumer entitlement, and a terrible response. At the like, it depends on who you talk to.
I've got a really good hot take on it too.
The people who respond and say, I don't like the way this looks, or this looks like shit, or any of those things. Those are good ways to, using social media and other things, voice your opinion. Be like, I'm not going to go see this because that looks fucking awful, or I hate the way this looks. But the people who take it too far and reach out and send death threats and negative shit over to the artists who work so damn hard to put this together.
And honestly, that kind of thing ends up snowballing into getting more and more people riled up, and it just snowballs into this thing that's been taken out of context.
They love to jump on the bully train.
Yeah, it's a mob mentality, and like that's essentially what the internet is now. Welcome to our comment section. But it's like
tell us how awful we are.
Please
use your anonymous face.
That's what I hate. And deep down to my core, I was ashamed when I saw the headline go up that they were reworking the Sonic image. I wanted them to, right? But I was ashamed that like somebody who had already put that much effort into making this thing for fans and for children of fans to bring new people in and actually have a film experience, we just shit all over everything they did. And now they're redoing it, and a same person, same me, man, it looks a lot better. Like, I'm excited for this. Like, this looks good.
I wasn't going to go see it. I saw the trailer and I'm like, this looks like another Alvin and the Chipmunks movie or a Smurfs movie. They're bringing in some Hollywood person, whether it's Neil Patrick Harris or in this case Jim Carrey, and I'm like, this looks like a garbage movie. And they fix it, and I watched the trailer and I'm like, I'm going to take my son to go see that.
You went with Jim Carrey, not James Marsden?
So here's the hot take. I saw once they released the fixed trailer and all that, people sharing this one post on Facebook saying the studio spent $35 million reanimating this. For the first time, they listened to the consumer, and we should pay them back by going to see it. I had a few friends share that, and they're like, yeah. I had one friend, she shared it, and she said, or they shouldn't have been so stupid in the first place to release that hot piece of garbage, and they wouldn't have to spend $35 million to fix it in the first place.
And see, that's a terrible thing to say. Like, honestly, I believe that's a terrible way to look at it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am of the opinion that movie is going to lose money regardless because of the money they had to spend to redesign basically the entire movie. That movie's going to lose money regardless.
I mean, not only the character image, but the contact, like any form of contact that your actual live character protagonist, live actor protagonist has with this individual, they have to reshoot that. They have to like relift and remove everything to be like, all right, this new CG frame fits in the,
So, I mean, that came down to one question. We're making a live action Sonic. Do we want him to look cartoony or somewhat realistic?
They should have gone with cartoony. I mean, to be perfectly, they should have gone.
They should have gone with
cartoony. They took an iconic character and you try to bring them into the real world, you're going to lose the image of that iconic character.
Fidelity. Always focus on fidelity.
Like Detective Pikachu was actually a pretty good movie, and they tried their damnedest to make them look like they were creatures, but they looked like the Pokemon from the game.
Dude, I'd kidnap a Bulbasaur from that movie.
Like, I don't like Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is the worst Pokemon, but Bulbasaur from that movie is adorable.
You can fuck your own face and jump out the window behind you. I love Bulbasaur, and the ones in that movie, I like.
Bulbasaur's the worst starter.
It is objectively the worst starter.
They were somewhat.
We're best friends and everything, but
you're talking about statistics, and I'm talking about love and affection. So
objectively, you have the better outlook on a Pokemon. So,
but I'm agreeing with you because of that movie. That Bulbasaur looks fucking adorable.
Yeah,
they kept the normal Bulbasaur proportions, all the shapes, all the colors, but they went photorealistic or hyper detailed in the hairs and stuff. So it wasn't the video game. It wasn't real life. It was right in the middle.
Which they should have done with Sonic in the first place.
They made Sonic furry,
but he looked too human-like.
Right. They said, let's make a standing blue hedgehog.
No.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you have this studio that they could have canned the fucking movie, and that's what they. Any other studio would have just shot that shit
Wasn't the original cost
or
of the
just
movie around
released it and like fucking we'll make the money
straight to DVD.
We'll either make the money or not. Oh well.
But
they essentially just put themselves $35 million further in the hole. On that
hoping they're.
I'm going to go see it now. How many
exactly
are there?
Hoping to get more people to go.
People will jump on the bandwagon now,
and it might work, but I don't think it will.
and look at the
What
conversation around it now.
What if they know they made a good movie? Storyline and everything. They said, this is good, and I want everybody to give it the opportunity to see it. And I'm not saying that's the case. Or at least that might not be the reality, but
what
maybe
if it
somebody
is?
who made part of it really believes it's that good.
What if it is like a really good movie?
I'm gonna go see it in theaters.
Yeah, now he doesn't look like hot garbage, I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be completely fair, Jim Carrey doesn't look anything like Eggman. It looks like Jim Carrey.
No.
I think he's supposed to make a transformation throughout the movie. He's supposed to get more Eggman as he like gets addicted to
That makes sense.
his power.
There were stills from the bad Sonic Image version that had him looking like
Eggman.
the things and like a bigger like wily mustache and stuff. But he's not round. He's not like a fat ass or anything.
Yeah.
But
there's another problem where you're kind of falling into uncanny valley. Eggman doesn't look like a human, but he's going to be played by a human.
I would not watch that movie if Eggman looked like Eggman. To be perfect,
Yeah.
Sonic should look like
weird.
Sonic, but Eggman should not look like Eggman.
now we're splitting hairs.
Well, see, I'm willing to split those hairs because my whole like revelation for this that started this whole thing actually kind of revolved around the Sonic movie, because when I started thinking about it, I realized I'm being a little hypocritical because I was one of the people that went, that Sonic looks like shit, I'm not going to watch that movie. And then when they redesigned him, I'm like, he finally looks good, I'm going to watch that movie.
That is a fair and complete consumer thought, though. This does not look like something I will enjoy. I'm not going to.
Right.
I'm not
You
going
didn't
to
complain
purchase
about
or
something you didn't
partake
buy.
in this.
But the reason why I feel hypocritical about it is because I've always felt weird passing judgment on a subjective thing. The best example I can think of is like musicians when they change their sound and release a new album, and people are like, this isn't their old sound. Why didn't they just continue making the same music they've made for 15 years?
Yep,
that's a great example.
I've always felt weird about that opinion. And it's basically the same thing I just had about Sonic.
Well, imagine this. An artist paints a painting, you see it, you don't like it, you don't buy it, not a problem. Somebody tells that artist, that's crap, you need to fix it. They go on their own, they fix it, you walk by again, you go, oh, I like this, and then you buy it. That's how Sonic is right now. You don't have to feel bad because you didn't tell them to fix their mistake. You weren't going to buy it.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. I just feel weird. And that's, like I said, what started this whole process. I started thinking about, why do I feel weird about this? And I'm okay with other stuff.
Because it's not something you cared about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
And that's what it always boils down to. Is it something that you feel like you've put an investment into so far?
If they released Shadow of the Colossus 2 and it was all time events, you would be mad.
Would I? It's Shadow of the Colossus. I'm gonna buy it.
But if it's all God of War QuickTime events and you're just button mashing, and that's the whole mechanic of the game.
whole game.
Yeah,
is QTEs.
no, you're right. That's not what I want.
But
that kind of falls into.
Here we go.
But
You're
here's the thing.
The first thing.
Here's the thing. If I know beforehand that it's gonna be QuickTime events, I'm not gonna be mad.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna buy it, and I'm gonna be like, oh, it sucks that I don't like this Shadow of the Colossus, but I'm not gonna be mad at the developer for making a different game.
They get yelled at, and they fix the game and be like Shadow of the Colossus 1, and then you buy it.
And that's the Diablo mobile.
But this falls into movie remake territory. I say, hey, we're remaking this classic movie. I'm quickly touching on it. They say, hey, we're remaking this classic movie, and people that love the classic movie are getting pissed off. They say, hey, we're gonna remake Princess Bride, and they're like, you can't. It's a classic.
Remake it.
Eric gave me the perfect advice. He said, in no way, shape, or form is a remake going to tarnish the original movie.
Never.
It's not disappearing. It's not being unmade. It's always going to be there. You can remake that movie 70 times and you're always going to have that original.
Before you say it, I do agree original content is better.
Or you could just make a new thing.
Yeah,
Original content is always better.
We're out of ideas.
But
we're just remaking movies and books and games.
But if you want to try and remake a really good story that nobody from a modern generation is going to watch because nobody would bother, I'm totally for it.
See, here, yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. Especially if you're trying to do something for that next generation, right? Star Wars movies are a perfect example of this because they are both a continuation and a reboot in the same breath, right? And we are running out of time on this for that. But I will. So we're not going to dive too far into Star Wars. I'm going to give you a warning.
That is a very deep pit.
Yes, I know. So
3 hours later,
we're not going to fall into a Sarlacc pit.
I will argue about Star Wars all night.
That is your ultimate entitled consumerism crowd.
Exactly.
Yes.
It is. And because there's a reason for it.
There's people in the same camp that are like, don't make new ones. The original trilogy is the best. There are people who, like us, we grew up with both the prequels and the sequels.
Yeah.
My family, like I have two uncles. One's more like only like 2 years older than I, so I don't like calling him my uncle. He's like my cousin, but
advanced cousin, senior cousin.
Yeah, but
Tier 2.
Great cousin.
We grew up together, and our other uncle, he introduced us to like Star Wars because he loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
But the original ones, like he got me like a Millennium Falcon for like Christmas or not for my birthday one year when I was like 5 or 6. But I grew up with original Star Wars, and when the prequels came out, I fucking loved them.
Right.
And
we were at a different age than the people that saw the originals.
They were made for you, though. That's the thing.
I'm not saying like I grew up with the originals, then the prequels,
right?
Because
you saw the Phantom Menace when you were 10, not 30.
Yeah.
I mean, true.
Yeah.
But I'm 30 now, and I've seen Last Jedi and the Force Awakenings, and I like them still.
But we're more open-minded.
Imagine being 30 and living on Muppets and practical effects, and then seeing Rubber Jar Jar. We can accept that as a 10-year-old, but 30. We are currently
watching the movies over again, and
so am I.
I know,
we are watching the jankiness, and there are sometimes I'm like, they actually had a practical suit for Jar Jar. It was just his head that they could change, but they made him all CGI because George wanted him more cartoony. I get the reason behind it, but he was still halfway practical. There were a lot more practical things in the first one.
Yeah.
But he's the artist. He can do those things. And I think it makes it better because the original trilogy is stoic. And slow, and how everything moves.
Saber battle,
but the prequels are fast and like
they're
how as I see as a kid, I'm like, oh, that's what I want.
It's hilarious
the second and third one are
Phantom Menace has perfect pacing.
No, I'm not talking how fast the movie goes.
I'm crawl.
I'm talking about
that
how
whole movie could be
it's
an
your
opening
superhero
crawl.
origin story. Okay?
I'm talking about how action goes.
Yeah,
it moves way faster than.
There is a lot more exposition in Phantom Menace than there needs to be. But to be perfectly honest, that's what happens when you make that's what happens when you make a prequel like 20 years later than the story it's prequelizing.
And I'm someone who in the camp that likes both visual effects and practical, and they're best when you blend them both together.
Fully agree.
Together.
When you blend them both together, that's when they're at their best.
Yeah.
So the new
Muppet
films
next to a CGI.
Do what?
Just kidding.
So the new films, yes, I really like because they try to use as much practical and CGI when they can.
And Mando.
Yeah, Mando. At first, I got opinions about that, but now that I've seen more,
let's just a space western.
Keep those opinions to yourself. We don't have time for them.
We don't have time for it.
Well, Mandalorian side episode expected.
Star Wars is in that weird category where, yes, it is a separate, it's like a remake in a sense where it is separate, but it does continue an existing story. And people don't want their story changing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to add, while I've got time, that I have opinions about everything that's been said about Star Wars. I am reserving them because I'm biased, and there is no such thing as a bad Star Wars story to me.
Our next episode is going to be all Star Wars. But
we'll have to do a spin-off just for that.
I've enjoyed.
Let's talk about one shot first
through 9.
Why are they changing
8.
the narrative? Why are they changing special effects to change what they want to?
Because it's George's movie. He's the artist. He gets to decide how the story goes.
Exactly.
He actually got to make one more for Disney.
The Disney Plus
one has one more edit to that.
I know.
That's the one that he wants.
But imagine J.K. Rowling re-releasing a Harry Potter book and changing a chapter 3 times.
She already has done that with her tweets. She's already
I know about her tweets.
You can't say anything about it. It's her work.
I agree.
Yeah. You cannot like it. You cannot like it. And you cannot support it.
That's the key definition of entitlement. If the artist says, "This is what I want," you don't get to say no.
This is how I always thought about it.
Yeah.
Right. In her tweets, she's adding.
Yeah.
She's not redacting. Whereas that's what's happened in these re-releases of Star Wars.
He's not redacting. He's just changing. He's adding to what he wanted. At the first time, he wanted Han to be a hero. He didn't. Everybody who saw them when they first came out thought he was like the roguish cowboy. That's not what George intended him.
Good point.
He wanted him to be a hero, so that's why.
Think about George saying something and then going, I could have worded that better.
That makes sense.
Because how the new edit goes is Greedo threatens his life, and then they both shoot at each other at the same time, which is more on par of what he wanted Han to be.
And I really like the way that sounds.
But people are upset.
You made a great counterpoint. George always wanted Greedo to shoot first, and in the movie, it didn't come out like his vision.
Yes.
So when they re-edited it, Han had to slide to the side to dodge and shoot, and now he's finally got to show what he really.
But people are in love with this thing that they've had for 30 years
to make Han seem like the whole time they thought Han was the reluctant hero.
Yeah.
Like he was thrust. They wanted him, the people that grew up with him and now that are like 30, 40 years old and who now see these newer ones and have seen the re-edited.
They totally understand he's a piece of shit.
They're like Han, that's not our Han.
Right.
Because they grew up on it, and I understand that.
Han's
but at the
scruffy looking nerf herder.
But at the same time, that's not what George wanted him to be.
Yeah,
he wanted him to be, the reluctant hero, but at the same time, he wanted him to be.
He's a reluctant hero because he doesn't believe that good people last long in the galaxy.
I don't know if other people admit this, but you made a counter argument and you changed my mind. So thank you.
Yeah, the point.
You're welcome.
The point is,
I mean, I'm open to new information and stuff, and you pointing out that George wasn't able to convey his idea and had to make some tweaks, because I can understand filming not coming out like you imagine, and he didn't get his point across, and he was able to fix that.
That's what makes you a good consumer, because the problem that we're discussing here is the fact that a lot of people are gonna be like, that's not what I grew up with, that's not what I had, and it's like. Just like you said, that's not what George wanted, but it's what he had to do at the time.
Yeah.
And now that he has the flexibility, availability to say, hey, this is the new scene and this is why it is that way. And this is what I wanted for my project that I gave to you all.
Now,
and people can feel however they want to about it. But the fact of the matter is, it is his project to change.
Yeah.
And I think that as long as he communicates it, I changed it, and this is why, because this is what I wanted. Like you were saying, I think that's for the best.
I don't want to throw rocks at a hornet's nest, but we probably shouldn't talk about unnecessary CG rocks, should we?
We're not talking about this. I would.
There's another scene in A New Hope where R2 is hiding in a little like outcropping of rocks from Sand People. And he adds CG rocks to better hide R2.
Yeah.
And while it's unnecessary, I understand why it doesn't make sense how R2 would be hiding in that outcropping of rocks.
He added more creatures in the background to make scenes more lively. He added additional Force ghosts.
Yeah.
To
like
all
the changes he made make sense. And I understand why people think some of them are unnecessary, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's his changes to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like the fine line between entitlement and like regular. You can go, I don't like this, and that should be the end of it. But because of social media, people get into a mob and pitchforks and let's bring it down.
And like the original.
I'm sorry.
The original intent of a lot of the like, I don't like this. This should be different. I understand and support to some degree, but it almost always snowballs into this thing where it gets taken out of context and it just becomes this is shit and it doesn't deserve our money.
And that's exactly right.
Because I'm in the camp where I'm on both fences. Like, I think that as consumers, we should be able to voice our opinions to a point to try to want better products, because that's what capitalism is. That's how we do things. We are consumers and we put money towards things, but we want the products to be better.
Yeah.
That is what we want. When we buy things, we want them to be better than what we got before.
But when they're not as good as you wanted, you don't deserve to somehow get what you ended up wanting.
Yeah, or if it hasn't come out yet and like if there's obviously like some sort of flaws, like I can see why you like this, why was this designed this way? Well, okay, you can voice your opinion and then shut up. Don't go change it or else.
Yeah.
I think
you have a right to an opinion.
Yes, you can, the way you or else is not buy it. That's how you boycott. Not, like EA,
Thank you.
I made a point to you,
but don't buy it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I made a point to you. I made a point to you that a consumer is different from an investor. An investor, their money matters the moment they put it in.
Sure.
Once they put it in, they have basically bought the right to put input on this product.
Yeah.
A consumer, their money does not matter until the product is done.
Right.
Until it ships.
I think the big curveball is George Lucas put out art and people fell in love with George Lucas's story and his world that he built. And they got 6 movies from him. And then he sold his franchise to Disney. And now someone else is in charge of his world.
Yeah. And it's funny because he's not necessarily like, he doesn't agree with all of the new things that are in the new movies. He said that, but again, those aren't his movies now.
Yeah.
Those are now J.J. Abrams.
Basically, his opinion is
Ryan.
I would have done it different, but it's not my fucking opinion.
Yeah, and he said that. He's like, I would have done that differently, but that's not mine. That's J.J. and Ryan's now. So I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I would like the rest of the world. Like, do people like The Last Jedi shit? Okay, you may not like it, but it's not shit.
No,
it was still a fun Star Wars movie. Yeah, it was still a fun Star Wars movie. I like the new things that they added.
Yeah.
The scene where they fucking, destroyed the ship through hyper jumping was dope as hell. And
But it's scientifically
who
inaccurate.
the fuck cares? None of the Star Wars have been. You know how many explosions happen in space in those movies, and you can hear them.
You know how much-
you can't hear sound at all in space.
Or the way the fireworks and gravity.
That's not how it works.
The fact that lightsabers exist at all.
at all, yeah.
So,
You wouldn't know shit about physics if it wasn't for Star Wars. You wouldn't have been
Side
You would have
note.
been inspired.
did you guys know about Gallagher, the comedian who used to smash watermelons on
Yes.
stage?
Oh, hell yeah.
He sold his act. Someone bought the right
To Gallup.
to Gallagher's watermelon smashing.
Wow.
Who would go see another person perform his trademarked act?
That's
Smashing Pumpkins.
I'd
You're
I'd,
stupid.
all right,
You
well,
should
that's-
leave for that.
That's the end of the episode.
I'd buy one
My
ticket.
goddamn
I would buy exactly one ticket to one show just so I could see what is different.
Like,
Right.
would they dress up like him?
I
Would-
don't know.
That,
I
that's
just
so,
remember hearing somebody bought that act in a sense.
Yeah, that's so
that
weird.
makes me think Star Wars is an existing franchise. Now somebody bought it and they have the ability to sell art through it. So if I bought Picasso's art, now I can paint my own Picasso's in his style. Are people going to buy those? They're Picasso.
No, because they're
Those are
not
different
Picasso's.
things.
yeah, you have not
You're
bought
talking about-
Picasso's
you're talking about
style.
individual projects.
Those are
No, that's what I'm
different.
saying.
Those
if
are
it was a style to buy.
I see what you're
If
saying.
I,
Okay.
there are plenty of painting recreators and painting restorers.
Well,
I guarantee I could make paintings in the style of Picasso and make them look like Picasso's. If I bought his trademark and made my own paintings through his eyes that look like Picasso's, that's kind of like people want the Picasso.
Yeah, because that would be more like copying because his like each era of art has its own like kind of like motif or like people were trying new things. So like there's like eras of art, just like with music.
And
And you can't really sell
Star Wars has gone through
an era of
over 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't really sell
Things
an
are
era
different now.
of
Right.
that. And
What if
people
I-
have done different Star Wars.
What if I bought the Harry Potter franchise and started writing a whole series about Harry going back to Hogwarts and being a teacher?
That would be
Some people are going to hate
dope.
that.
Some people
Yeah.
would hate that because
But he's an
But
aura.
he's an
it's
aura.
canon.
He's an aura.
yes, but
so-
he's an aura, so that would break the.
I could always say he quit his job and decided to be the head of Hogwarts.
I mean,
and
I
that
could
would
see him
be
doing
up
that
to
at like
you.
60.
There are people that are dual employed in the Harry Potter universe to both be aurors and
But I was
Mad
saying,
Eye
if
Moody.
you-
Reality
Matt Moody.
aside,
But I was-
that's kind of what happened with Star Wars. Somebody bought this and now they get to write canon.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But it like say J.K. was you're Disney and J.K. was selling
Yeah.
Harry Potter and you bought it. After that, that's up to you to decide how it goes.
You are now the beginning and end of what happens in the Harry Potter universe.
Ridley
can either-
Scott can make a great universe and cannot make a great story. What if somebody bought that and started making some badass alien movies?
That'd be cool, except for the one that James Cameron did. Alien sucks.
Well,
and
James Cameron.
I hate aliens. It is not Alien.
Titanic in space.
Yeah.
The only good alien movie is Alien.
Well,
Fight me.
No, I won't. I'll die on that rock with you.
I'll agree with you as long as we can give special recognition to AVP.
Nope.
I'll give
the idea
that.
of it.
Thank you.
It
itself.
wasn't a great movie. But
Yeah, it wasn't a great movie,
enjoyable.
but it was a great action.
it was
Super duper
fun.
side note.
But I don't like. That's why I don't like Aliens because Alien is a
No,
horror
Aliens,
movie.
which is a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Period.
And then Aliens
AVP
became
was a
more
good action
campy
movie.
and fun
and more actiony, and I'm like, no, Alien's supposed to be scary.
Super duper side note. Japan made their own AVP where it's Ring Girl and Grudge Girl.
I've heard of that.
Awesome. to kind of reel in, because I think it's what you were trying to do a few minutes ago, to kind of reel in the idea of entitlement.
Yeah.
I think that I think that you should have a voice, right?
Yep.
You should have an opinion and
Yeah.
you should make that known. If you see something that comes out voice your opinion on it.
Yeah.
But it is not your place as a consumer
Correct.
to say that somebody owes you something
Yes.
based on a thing that you bought
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
It is not anybody's place to say this next project is horse shit and that's not what you owe me because I gave you this money. Like, no, you gave them that money for
Yeah.
fucking Diablo 3,
yeah.
not Diablo 4.
Yeah.
It's not up for pre-order. Shut your fucking mouth. Sit
Yeah.
down with your little fanny pack and let that man keep giving his presents.
At
Now-
the end of the day, you get to say, I liked this for this reason, and you're not doing this, and that's
And I'm
Exactly.
out. That's just like an investor
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
I'm out.
And
I'm out.
I would like to make the point that if you have crowdfunded this product and you
That is different because you are now an investor.
You are now an investor and you have every right to have an opinion about it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, man. Oh. This is not a gaming podcast, folks.
Oh, boy.
No, that'll happen. We'll
Yeah,
do that
we'll
on Hard to
handle that
Play.
later.
No,
We'll handle that
fuck
later.
that
Oh,
shit.
boy.
You opened this can of
Oh
worms.
no.
what did you crowdfund?
I
Shenmue 3.
kickstarted Shenmue 3. I kickstarted Shenmue 3, and I was extremely excited for it. And again,
I am actually curious about your opinion of this game.
I haven't played much of it, honestly, because I'm fucking frustrated. Like, I was a huge fan of Shenmue 1 and 2. Yu Suzuki made fantastic games with a very concrete story. And this is me. This is my fault as a consumer, and this is my problem with entitlement. But God damn it, I'm going to voice this.
If you crowdfunded it or if you volunteered in the crowdfund, you are an investor now.
Technically,
There's
you were
the
an
thing.
investor for that.
I am an investor. but
Kickstarter's
here's the thing.
different because they tell you what they're giving, and you get to help them buy it sooner.
The thing is, right, and this is just as any other player is, I'm buying a game in 2019. Well, fuck, 2016 when I put that money forward, because it was before we bought this house. Like, it was 2016 when I put that money forward, and I'm like, all right, I'm in for this because I loved it. $30, I don't give a shit. I'll give you $30 for it. Got my digital, right? The controls are clunky. It is slow. The voice dialogue sounds like it was recycled from Shenmue 1 and 2. Like, there are literal lines in there that don't sound as clear and crisp as others. And it's like, he had this in a bag. And there are some things that, like, Ryo Hazuki will say, your protagonist will say, and it's choppy. Like, one word will have a different pitch than the next, and there's no continuity. So, like,
Do you think it's
They
because he
cut-
tried to produce a game with a limited budget? Instead of getting a full video game studio budget, he had a crowdfunded budget.
that game had a full studio
That
budget
game had
because
millions of dollars.
Sony gave it its full budget before it got kickstarted.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
It
The Kickstarter was supplementary.
Then they've got
the
no
Kickstarter, the Kickstarter, and the Fan Gamer, and the what was the other one? They put it up somewhere else. I can't remember. There were 3 different crowdsourcings, and
They definitely had more than enough.
the
money.
game was funded at 65 million, and it went up to like 148 or 150 or something like
You
that.
got a trash game out of that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I haven't played far enough to see, but the character models,
You got Shenmue 2.5.
it's PS3 character rendering, but the controls, like, they changed nothing. It's copy and pasted out of the Shenmue 1 and 2 collection that just came out for PlayStation 4 not long ago.
That's disappointing.
The notebook that you take out, same animation and same appearance for a game that came out 15 years ago when Shenmue, 18 years ago when Shenmue 2 came out. Like, they changed nothing. They recycled all these old assets. So it's like when they got, for 65 million, they knew they could make a game, right?
Yeah.
And part of the crowdfunding was not just to get it to ship and get guaranteed buyers, but also so they could buy all this stuff from Sega, because all those old properties still belong to Sega, and they weren't about to give all this intellectual property over to Yu Suzuki to make a game.
So he was going to try to buy it.
Exactly. So he's like, all right, let me buy this, and I'll pay you for every game, every copy the game sells. You'll get X amount to pay for these characters that come up in Pop Toys or whatever the deal is. And
Mega Man, for example.
yeah, and they got through that. But it's like when he bought his own intellectual property from Sega, that being Shenmue 1 and 2, it's like, all right, we spent all of our money. Let's just use these assets like that we already have. And that sucks. And as a consumer, it's like, you never told us that. You told us you were rebuilding a game from the ground up.
Right.
And all of us were convinced, and I say all of us, but this is like everybody that I've spoken to that had it pre-ordered. We were convinced that we were buying a $60 2019 game.
Yeah.
When you look at the same year that Resident Evil 2 came out, this is a goddamn embarrassment because it's so crisp and so many things change, and you feel reinvigorated to jump into this world and be like, all right, all this stuff is new.
I was gonna say, playing Resident Evil 2, the original and the remake, they are completely different games, and it's awesome.
You don't have that blocky control or anything that turned me off from Resident Evil when I was younger. I love the world of the games, but the controls were terrible. And Shenmue is more of the same, and it's not enjoyable in a lot of senses like that, and that hurts me as a huge fan of that series to say. But it's like, I kickstarted this idea and I trusted you. You know what I mean?
And
I feel robbed.
The consumer entitlement comes down to what was promised to you in the Kickstarter.
Exactly. And it was bare bones. They were saying, we're building this whole new experience, and they gave us the map and they gave us images, like pre-alpha images of what they wanted Rio to look like and Shenhua to look like and what this world was going to look like. But they never touched on the UI, the controls, or anything else. And as a consumer, it's like, all right, that's my bad because I jumped in on this before I knew anything about it.
As a consumer, that's your bad, but also as somebody who put money into the production of that game, that means a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not in a new crowdsource environment when it says, hey,
I know what the terms of service of Kickstarter and GoFundMe are, but I can still have the opinion that those terms of service are worded in a specific way to protect anyone who wants to use those platforms.
fair enough.
Yeah, because also, like, Kickstarter tries to protect the investors the most. That if you aren't promised what you are owed, you can ask Kickstarter to give me my money back.
Yeah.
That's what
Kickstarter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has the right, because since he
does have the right, yes,
to put money towards it.
Yeah.
I don't think Kickstarter investors are a traditional sense of investors. I think it's very much,
should be.
I'm going to make this product and you can pay me early to help me make this product because you want it. But I am strongly outlining what I'm going to be giving you.
Right.
And then,
that's
if they don't deliver that, you do deserve your money back.
Yeah, at the very least, you should have any amount of money you've put in, you should have that back.
Here's the problem, guys. I just platinum Shenmue 1, and
that is a problem.
I know me.
This is sounding a lot like me when I start talking about Star Wars.
I'm gonna finish it and play through it, and I'm probably gonna get the platinum on Shenmue 3.
At that
but
point,
the fact of the matter is,
at that point,
you know what?
Which is fine. You can be disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's still like, because you enjoy this series, so you still kind of want to. You don't want to give up on it, but that's fine. That's completely.
You love the franchise, and you deserve, although it may be disappointing now, to give it the full playthrough and see if there's something that you love about it.
Just like with Sekiro.
Yeah.
I love From Software games, and I love the Dark Souls series, and I like that style of game, but I played Sekiro, and I'm not like, I wasted my money. I even like talked to Eric about it. Like, one day it just randomly came up because it was still on my home screen. I'm like, I didn't really play like that much of Sekiro, and I don't mind that I spent the $60. I'm more upset that I wasn't able to get good, and that the meta broke it for me.
So that's a gray area. Can you give an opinion on a game that you didn't play all the way through?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, see, the thing about him and Sekiro is he didn't feel betrayed by the developers of the game. He just felt kind of slighted by his own ability.
Yeah, he was very fair in that.
Yeah,
I agree.
A lot of people were like, fix the game, add an easy mode, or take down the difficulty. I'm not like that. No, keep it that hard.
Yeah.
That is up to the players to try to get better. And because I'm someone who doesn't like to use meta mechanics, or if there's a broken mechanic, most people are like, well, I'm going to abuse the shit out of that.
Right. I have actually ruined a game for him before.
Because that's how I want to play a game. That's not how I want to play it. I want to play the game how I want to play it. And that's normally how they want me to play it. So I wanted to get good at parrying because that's what they wanted me to do. And certain enemies, I just couldn't get the timing down. So I was like, I can't get past this boss because I cannot parry them like I'm supposed to. And that is on me. And I'm not upset with them. I'm more upset that the meta ruined it for me.
I would
and that
say
I wasn't good enough.
That's fair.
I would say, as I guess consolation, that part of the reason why you can't get the time of the parrying down and whatnot is because of exaggerated hitboxes and exaggerated hurtboxes, which are fucking bullshit.
Right. I mean, it's their way of adding difficulty. It could have been done in different ways. But
Yeah, but
I happened to get Dark Souls for free through Xbox Live or whatever. I played a little bit. I did not do well, and I did not have a fun time. If I would have bought it, I would have been upset. However, I wouldn't have bought it without doing more research.
yeah, and I want to like wrap all this up to like put a little bow on it. That brings me back to like another game that's Dark Souls like Jedi: The Fallen Order. I've seen it played. T had rented it and he really wanted to play it, and I watched him play it because I was interested in it. But I do not like what EA has done for the last several years, and the way that I'm voicing my opinion towards them is I'm not bitching and complaining. I'm not going to buy EA games.
And as a consumer, that's the power you wield.
That's the
not
power that
giving them money.
They are
That's-
losing money for their decisions.
That's how you
Even as good as this particular one looks and is apparently turning out to be, I'm not doing it either.
Yeah, like that is how you not be entitled. You shouldn't be like change your like certain things where they're overstepping that EA likes to do is add fuck ton of microtransactions, or what they did to Battlefield 2 where they broke it.
Battlefield.
Or
No, you're right.
Battlefront
All of
2, all of them, but Battlefront 2 and 1, but where they did to 2 where they kind of like broke it.
Yeah.
Like you
Loot
pay a
chests.
$60 game and put a grind in it that you can pay more money to make that grind easier. No. In that sense, like, yes, like you were talking about earlier about old things. Battlefront 2, the original one, is still there. I have it on the PC on Steam if I want to play it because it was an amazing game when it came out.
Yep.
It may
doesn't
not look,
play well.
It doesn't play well. It doesn't look good either, but I like EA is almost dead. Is like pretty much dead to me, and especially BioWare. Those are games that like helped turn me into the RPG fan that I am.
I honestly, was just side note on BioWare. I honestly feel like BioWare has purposely killed themselves just so they can either reorganize.
Well, the people that were originally there that made the games that I love,
They're
like
gone.
the Old Republic, Jade Empire, Baldur's Gate, they're gone.
Yep.
So BioWare or Mass Effect, they're gone.
Yeah.
Those
And
artists.
Those
there.
artists,
Yeah,
they're no
I-
longer there.
It's just a building that they all reside in.
So that is what I'm doing as a consumer, not buying any more EA games
Yeah.
because I don't agree with their practices
Which is peak consumer.
and what
It
they
is.
do. And I'm not going to
Yep.
like the way that I want them to change is me not giving them money and them going, oh, we are losing money because people aren't buying these games. But it's not going to do much because they're still
It's
going to
not.
sell
And the microtransactions.
millions and millions of FIFA.
It's not, and that's where social media does come into play. Like you can like raise awareness to like, hey, this isn't a great way to do this, but then also because social media and the internet is what it is, it always ends up snowballing into this thing that becomes uncontrollable, unguided, and just this big mess that shouldn't even happen.
Yeah, there's definitely a line between entitlement, consumer entitlement, and just being a regular consumer.
Yep.
It's when you take it too far that's the problem.
Yeah, right.
Like you need to, since social media is so easy to get into that mob mentality, and it's not just for like consumerism thing for like canceling certain artists or like people canceling people because something they may said as a joke. It's a gray area, but people like to get riled up way too quickly and easily. And I think the best thing to do is like step back and like reassess and try to think with a clear head out of the mob mentality. Because
Stop.
so
Get some help.
stop. Get some help.
Yeah, at the end
Because
of
it's
the day,
easy to go with the rest because we're humans. That's what we like to do is stick to our clan.
Yeah.
So if all of us are, let's destroy this thing. Well, everybody else is doing it.
There are people that are like, oh, hey, I don't really like this thing because this thing changed and now I don't really feel like I'm into this thing.
Yeah.
And then those people see people that are just toxic and they go, they agree with me. I'm going to join them.
Yeah.
And then they become toxic and it just gets
No,
worse and
That's
worse
a big
and
problem
worse.
with the internet. I mean, think if to change it, you'd have to go to the front doorstep of EA. Only so many people are going to actually get up and go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anybody can log on online,
Yeah.
hide anonymously, and
Yeah.
yell at someone.
Yeah,
Exactly,
it's,
and that's what
it-
everybody does now.
yeah, it's fine to have a negative opinion of a product. It's not fine to think that you deserved something more than
owed.
what you got.
Yeah, you're owed something before
Yeah.
the product is even
Yeah,
out.
no.
Yeah.
Or before you've paid
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Now it's not against the rules, and it's not unkind to want something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
And
be a good fucking person. Don't
Yeah.
be a tick.
Yeah, if you're disappointed with a product, I do think you should at the very least, get your money back.
There's a difference between.
I'm saying before you buy it. If there's a problem, if there's a problem
Yeah.
that, with something that you bought, you were not given the product that you were promised.
you should be able to.
get
Yeah.
Just like
and we've seen that a lot lately.
yeah, like I'll make the example like with a car or like all bags of chips say fresh guarantee or whatever like that. So you can call up that number and be like, these Lay's chips tasted like ass. I'd like my $2 back, and they'll give you your $2 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair.
that is fair. But like
Just don't do it for every
It's a
bag.
smaller loss.
Yeah, just don't do it for. Don't repeatedly go buy the same bag of
then
chips.
that becomes broke. Like
Yeah.
Super quick side point. Donkey Kong 64 had a game-breaking bug. The only way they could fix it is releasing a memory expansion cartridge. They lost a fuck ton of money, but they did it to fix the game.
And it was a great game.
Yep.
Don't at me.
There's no reason to. That was a good game.
It was a good game.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So on
Topic two.
on the topic of leaving.
Let's stop there. Just we're gonna take a quick break there.
Okay.
Oh God.
Every time we lose a microphone. Doop.
All right. Well, that was a bunch of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Didn't know that we'd be breaking shit tonight.
My fault.
It's all,
I thought I was getting in the chair much more careful than that.
all
It's quite all right.
Good. All right.
Cameron's a lounge singer now.
It's Thanksgiving.
So we were going to come back and jump on the topic of Thanksgiving and the fact that non-disclosed retail stores are putting shit out for Christmas and basically forgetting Thanksgiving.
Pudding? Present tense pudding?
They've been out.
Yeah, it's been out for like a month.
Yeah,
Since
since
September.
before Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, like September.
And
Oh, yeah.
people are decorating their houses and everything. Like Thanksgiving's a holiday, and I just want to make a PSA. That's what this whole
thing
bit
is
was
about, yeah.
I want to make a PSA that Thanksgiving matters, and you shouldn't just jump over it. Black Friday is the earliest that you should put up your Christmas decorations.
Absolutely. Why do we get 3 months of Christmas?
Yeah, for real.
You know, go
What
ahead.
about all the? You mentioned something about Taco Bell being open on Christmas earlier, and I was gonna say, well, you think about, there's people who don't celebrate like
Absolutely.
like Jewish
Not all
people.
of America is Christian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And let me explain this really weird experience I had this year. So as y'all know, Halloween's very important to me.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I think it's
spend the whole month of October working in a haunted house. I've been doing it for 22 years across my whole life. Halloween's very important. Christmas started at the beginning of October. It started hitting the stores. It hit me so hard seeing it so often that about a week before Halloween, I thought Halloween had already happened.
Jesus.
I saw the costumes up at a retail store, kind of put over in a section that's normally the sale section. I was like, oh, wow, they have costumes on sale already. We should wait a minute. It hasn't happened. Like I hit that moment where I was like, why can't I remember Halloween this year?
Yeah.
Because it's next week. I'm already in that it's over. We're getting ready for Christmas, and they're pushing that shit down my throat, and it's turning into a forced time crunch.
Yeah.
That they were pushing me ahead 3 months, and that's making me panic.
Yeah, bringing on a lot of anxieties
Yeah.
and stuff like
I
that.
have to get presents. I
Yeah.
have to get my house ready. There's a lot going on, and they're pushing the clock. It's
Yeah.
like saying, hey, I mean, they do that back to school shopping the week after school that's out for summer break.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got 2 months, but now I'm already freaking out about back to school shopping.
Yep.
As a retail employee, I kind of don't mind the back to school push because honestly, the sooner you get your shit,
The less of mess you're going to deal with.
yeah.
Now, a bigger problem is, I don't know if I can say their name, Gap. They like to push the season of clothes the season before. So if you want to get summer clothes, you get them in the spring, because as soon as August hits, you have to buy winter gear. That's all they have in the store.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, non-disclosed retail stores do the same thing. Like you'll see bathing suits in like late winter or early spring.
I hate that because I'm like, well, my kid needs a t-shirt. I'll walk in there. They're all long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, like back to school. We're parents. Back to school season, right? We'll walk in there in August and be like, I need to buy some t-shirts, and everything folded up is all long sleeve.
But they don't even stock up to the point they put their stock out early, and they don't touch it in a lot of stores because I don't get my back to school shopping list for my kids' schools until about the week before school starts. Right, everything's sold out a month beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I'm fucked.
You should just anticipate.
Yeah. That's basically what I
now,
end up doing.
Do they need 10 or 40 glue sticks?
40. They're gonna need 40.
So like every time I see a pack of glue sticks, if I like from the day they get out of school for summer, every time I'm in the store, if I see a pack, I'll grab it. Like that's not even a joke.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's your original mentality or if that's forced on you.
That's
by
forced
the
on me.
scarcity
That's
of back to
forced
school
on me.
shopping.
Yeah,
You're Mad Max in that store.
Yeah,
I really am.
We're gonna need gas for back to school. There's only so much.
Like,
so, I'm
There's only so many colored pencils. We got to get them now.
I'll flip over a woman's cart and take the glue sticks she just picked up and all the ones off the shelf, and then go in for open house and realize that woman was actually my child's teacher.
Right. So why do we need?
Well, I
this
got some glue sticks for you.
Why do we need this Black Friday mentality for every shopping occasion?
well, okay. So
I hate Black Friday.
So
I hate it.
in the context of back to school shopping, like I said, as a retail worker, I 100% support the mentality that has been forced on you. I 100% support it. I'm so glad you finally caught on.
Yeah.
But as a human
Son
being,
of a bitch.
but as a human being and your best friend, I'm so sorry that that's how it has to be.
But it's like that's the way I think now, and I mean that's for everything, for Christmas and everything else. Like, man, you know, my kid's birthday is in November, right? My daughter just had her birthday. I'll start looking at presents in March and April because when November rolls around, you're knocking on Christmas doors. Nothing's going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I've got 3 kids and you've got 2. Like, their tastes and opinions change from between breakfast and dinner. So like trying to say that I'm going to buy something for them 7 months in advance that they're going to have fucking interest in.
Because like right now, people are going to want nothing but Baby Yoda merch, which will be out in time for Christmas.
I want Baby Yoda merch.
Right.
The child is adorable.
But if you finished all of your Christmas shopping in August, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So
Buy more.
I literally just remembered that I was supposed to do some shopping for you in electronics today.
I went to your South location and purchased that particular thing.
Okay,
I had no faith in you, so you did it anyway.
No, he's perfectly right to have no faith in me. I explained how much I just want to get out of there.
I need a different color variant, and I will be asking for your assistance with that one. Though.
For the record, kids, get you a friend that works in retail so that you can have them do your shopping for you.
Yeah, that's what I did today.
Just find one that's less of a dick, because I will give you so much trouble about me buying you things.
He's helped us out.
No, he does.
We appreciate
He's been
you,
a
Eric.
good fellow.
Yeah, because I asked him. Incineroar is out as the amiibo, and I really want one. And I was like, pick me up one, and I'll give you the $15.
I believe my exact words were, "If you want it that badly, you can get it yourself."
Like, you're going to the. You work there.
Amiibo release.
You work there. Well, they go fast, so I want
Squirtle
to.
is still on the shelf.
Funnily enough, Incineroar, Crom, and the 8-bit Link that came out for Link's Awakening remake or whatever are still fully stocked.
I'm so used to them going away immediately.
Yeah.
I think
I actually want 8-bit.
That it got me. I'm like, you have to get them as soon as they come out. Like, I pre-order them because I'm not sure if they're going to still be around. And hey, this one that I want's $50 now.
You worried me with Squirtle, because you're like, dude, Squirtle's coming out. I pre-ordered it. And I'm like, I kind of want a Squirtle. Not enough to pre-order it. I still see them fully stocked everywhere I go.
Yeah, because
it's different.
Yeah,
I really think
I think they have adjusted their stock because
I think the demand for them has gone down a little bit, and they've also adjusted to the demand.
I remember just messaging you guys for shits and giggles from Five Below and be like, "Hey, look, there's these Smash amiibo," and you're like, "Buy them. We can't find those anywhere. Like, which ones they have?" You're like, "Oh shit, they got a Falco. Buy it.
Get with the Falco shit." It's still like $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, it's $5 here at this particular store. So,
But
I like that they did re-release some of them, because as soon as like Baby Bowser or Bowser Jr. came out, I wanted, because he's like one of my favorite characters from Mario, and I wanted him. And like as soon as he came out, they were all sold out, and like on Amazon and other places, like, all right, we're reselling him for like $50. I'm like, I guess I'm never getting a Baby Bowser.
Not a perfect example, but I really wanted the Player 2 variant of Cloud. I wanted the Advent Children Cloud, which is a GameStop exclusive, and they only got so many at certain GameStops. And I called around in like a 20-mile radius, and they were all out, and it fuck me.
Yeah.
Original Cloud's better.
That's one of the things where you gotta like pre-order it in advance, and like so they have it in stock. And I mean, a lot of GameStop employees will tell you that straight. Well, if you want to pre-order it, thanks a lot, dickhead.
Man,
You know, like
let's just go ahead and say fuck pre-order bonuses, fuck game exclusives at different stores.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
my opinion kind of rolls into how Pokemon's been doing dual releases, and you can't get the entire game unless you get both of them. Oh,
Yeah.
limited Pokedex, both get. Fuck you.
Well, they've
I mean,
been doing that
I'm
since the
playing
beginning.
one.
Yeah,
but I
it's
mean,
been that way since Red.
their whole plan with that was that you have friends that buy a different version, which isn't a perfect.
Fair
It isn't a
enough.
perfect plan, but at
Okay,
the very
that makes more
least,
sense.
Yeah.
I played first gen and second gen.
Yeah,
Yes, silver got Lugia and gold got Ho-Oh. One variant, not
No. They had every game. You can only catch so
yeah,
many Pokemon.
there are
in each-
Dex variants.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
fuck
every
yeah.
game.
Yeah, like
And boy,
and
let
like
me tell
blue
you,
and red, only blue gets Growlithe, red gets Vulpix
Vulpix.
line. It's been like that
Oh,
since the
yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, it's
Well,
been like that
I was
forever.
never one of those complete your Pokedex kind of kids. So I
Yeah,
guess it doesn't
neither
matter
was
that
I.
much.
Wait till you find out how you get Alakazam, there, buddy. That's a whole
I
different.
know how to
ball
get
of
Gengar.
You
Same
just trade
way.
them.
Same
Yeah.
way.
But yeah, their purpose was for people to play with their friends and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Or you could have an old Game Boy and a color and
Yep.
Yeah.
just buy both of them. And
So I
Josh
feel-
has done the friendless method for
I-
years.
I feel like we're straying
You were
away from the
way off.
original. I feel like we're straying away from the original topic. So I just want to go ahead and issue a challenge. Go ahead and fucking at me, evilraccoon.jpg at Twitter.
He remembered it.
Well, you guys told me enough. So go ahead and at me. Thanksgiving's the best holiday. Fucking fight me.
We got pies and shit. So,
Thanksgiving is a great holiday.
and it is today at the time that we're releasing this. So we
Yeah.
would like to wish everybody from our family to yours a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving from the RG family.
Community.
This isn't actually the end card. No. This is the hell I've been trapped in. This isn't the actual end card I wanted to do. I'm not lying to you. This is just coming out of my brain. But anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content before I go fucking nuts. Oh yeah, and check out some of these videos over here. Thanks.